All right, welcome back, everybody, to another Murders Draft. Took a little bit of time off doing these videos. Went to MagicCon this week, MagicCon Chicago, which was a lot of fun. Had a really good time, and even got to meet a few people from the comment sections, which was kind of nice. Anyways, let's jump into this pack. So, a lot of good red in this pack. We've got Galvanize, Shock, Person of Interest, Fuss Bother as not really a red card, but a notable card in the pack. Meddling Youth, solid card too, but two colors when there's good monocolored options in this pack. Between all these red cards, I do tend to take Person of Interest over the removal spells. Like, I think you could take Shock if you wanted to, and I think it's not a great idea to take Galvanize over Shock. I do think Shock is quite a bit better. But unless you're drafting blue-red, I do think Person of Interest is generally the stronger card. I could take Fuss Bother too, as an even more flexible card. And you know what? Very end of the pack there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the more flexible card. It's a little bit worse, I think, than Person of Interest, but really not by a ton. And, if you've watched my videos before, you know how much I go on about flexibility. Okay, so we now get past a Sharp-Eyed Rookie, which I do believe I'm going to highlight and take here. Pretty good card. Other cards in this pack, Market Watch Phantom, Granite Witness. Not that interested in taking a Murder this early. I would probably even take an Out Cold over Murder, considering we've got Fuss Bother in the pile. But, yeah, we'll just take the good rare. This is maybe setting us down a path of my favorite deck in the format at this point, blue-green. Not because I think blue-green's, like, by far the best thing or anything like that. I just feel like it's pretty consistently open. I do not think people have quite moved off of soft forcing red-white just yet. So we'll see where we go with that. Now we've got a Coerce to Kill. We've got a Lockstone Eavesdropper. We've got an Escape Tunnel. Those are all pretty solid options. Generally, when I'm green-blue, I do tend to splash either red or black. Not always, but sometimes. So, like, I could take this Coerce to Kill, but it's a little bit less flexible than taking something just like Eavesdropper. And I do like Eavesdropper a lot, so I think I'm going to take that. Like, I think this is a pick where you could take kind of any of those. I also think you could take Reckless Detective. You know what? Forget all that. I'm actually just going to take Reckless Detective because I do think this is the best card in the pack. And yes, it is not as flexible as taking Eavesdropper if we want to play the rookie, but I do think it's enough better there. And early in the draft, you're often making those kind of decisions. Like, okay, this card's better, but this card's more flexible. Where do you draw the line of which one you should take? And different people are going to kind of have different answers for that. I think if you're a less experienced drafter, it's a good idea to take the more flexible card. But if you're more experienced and you have preferences of like what decks you like and you know how to draft them, I think you can be a little bit less flexible. And this pack, I'm just going to take the Inside Source. Would not mind taking a Granite Witness here, but yeah, Source is great, so we'll nab that. Some red-black cards going around here. Juggler, fine card, and Blood Spatter Analysis. A pretty good card in, like, a multicolor deck. Good removal spell that buys something back eventually. But, going for the monocolored option, as I tend to do. And in this pack, we've got some green cards floating around. Glint Weaver, probably the one I'm going to take here. Insidious Roots, obviously one that we'll keep an eye on. Although, it's always funny. At this point, I still have not got used to the fact that play boosters don't have as much of a wheel. I'm like, okay, it's pick 5. We can maybe wheel this. I mean, there's a chance, of course, but it would have to be the actual last card in the pack. There's a Tunnel Tipster here, which I do think is a little bit worse than Glint Weaver in general, and we've already got a lot of cheap cards, so I think it's totally fine to take an expensive card. Like, if this draft started with 4-drop, 4-drop Disguise Creature, I would just take the Tipster here. But considering a lot of our early cards were cheap, I'm taking the expensive one. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Leon Relic Order. This is a pretty good list card. So I do not know if I'm going to take it over Makeshift Binding. I do think Makeshift Binding is probably just a better card, especially because, like, double white's a little bit tough if you're not a heavy white deck. But card is good, so I'll just highlight this Makeshift Binding. Another Person of Interest kind of floating around here, which is kind of in the same tier to me as Makeshift Binding, but yeah, we'll just take Binding here. All right, and one of my favorites here, Nervous Gardener. I was talking about flexibility, and Nervous Gardener is certainly flexible while also just playing well with the cards we have. Enables a splash potentially. There's a Seasoned Consultant, and we could take that too. I think it would be totally reasonable to take that, but getting past Rookie, I don't know. I don't think it means that much, to be honest, especially with play boosters. And I know that 5th pick Weaver also doesn't mean that much, because I know, like, I've kind of noted at this point, after playing this format a lot, this is a card that I value higher than other people, and so, like, I don't see it as a giant signal or anything, even though I'm happy to take it. But, this is now, I'll scratch all that. I think getting an 8th pick Bloomkin with a Tunnel Tipster in the pack, that probably says to me, okay, green is definitely an open color here. So we're going to take the Bloomkin. Bloomkin, I do believe, is a better card than Tipster, especially if green ends up being really open. So we'll just take that. Ooh, yeah, okay. V2 Gauzy Inspector. That's another good green common. Happy to just keep on taking green cards. And yeah, just some end of the pack stuff. Probably going to take Mask Maker in case we end up with a bunch of Disguise Creatures ended up in a base green-red deck. And all right, look, I was thinking about taking it the first time around, so it's just like clearly this is open. Also some solid blue cards at the end of the pack. All right, take a Scene of the Crime too. It's not a bad pickup. All right, and a Strider. Yeah, Strider last pick's nice too. So we were just like, world is our oyster. I was going to say open some sick bomb. We can take it, and we're definitely just going to take the Tulsimir here. Just a really powerful pack, actually. Buried in the Garden, great. Would be happy to take that if the Tulsimir wasn't here. Detective Satchel, another Fuss Bother, Makeshift Binding. Like, this is a pack I can imagine us wheeling something from, because Black did not seem open, so it seems like multiple people are drafting Black at this table. So I imagine somebody takes, like, a Murder, somebody takes a Satchel. We're probably going to get something back here. Even if it's just like a Panther, I wouldn't mind that. Okay, so this is an interesting pack. So there's a Dog Walker here, and that's definitely something on my mind after picking up a Tulsimir. You know, I think leaning green-white when we already also have a Makeshift Binding and an Insight Source makes a lot of sense. And, you know, again, just going back to what was open in pack 1, what wasn't, which definitely really influences what I take in pack 2, setting me up for pack 3. Red was also not very open, so I think I'm just pretty happy to take this Dog Walker and just end up in green-whites and maybe green-blue. Like, blue was one of the more open colors. We saw those late blue cards go by, but, you know, we've just got a lot of great white cards here, so until the draft tells us otherwise, I do not think I'm going to be moving off of it, and I'll take a Tipster here. Our disguise count is 2. And you do want, I would say, 3, 4, 5 disguise creatures to really make Tipster a great card in your deck. It's never going to be a bad card, especially when you have expensive cards. Like, the first thing you want in your deck with Tipster, of course, is expensive cards. You don't want to just be putting this in, like, a green-red aggro deck or something. But even if you do have expensive cards, I would like to have some disguise creatures in there so I can consistently trigger it, make my 2-mana creature retain some relevance as the game goes on. Also, Surveillance Monitor here. That's, you know, a card I like a lot. Some fine white cards, but I'll just, you know, like I said earlier, if I can just keep taking green cards, I'm pretty happy to do so. Okay, so now we've got a good 2-drop in Market Watch Phantom. We've got a fine removal spell. We are a little bit light on interaction, like we've got this Binding, but that's kind of it. Although, with green being as open as it is, I would not be surprised if we got some late-ish Bite Down on Crime, so I don't think I need to take the kind of medium removal spell here, especially because we are definitely a deck attacking on the ground. So I'll just take the Solid 2. Okay, this pack, nothing I'm too interested in. I think I'm just going to take a They Went This Way speculatively. Like, if I end up splashing something, that just ends up being a third fixing source. We've already got the Nervous Gardener. We've already got Scene of the Crime. So if we do open up some Sicko, we can maybe consider doing that. Okay, so I like Rebel Belt Maverick, but this is a pretty good Call Surprise Witness deck. Like, we've got Sharp-Eyed Rookie. We've got Bloomkin. That's a great one to bring back. We've got Inside Source. Bring back a Dog Walker is not that bad. So yeah, I'm just going to take that here. And we are looking, I would say, you know, a little more. Yeah, just like I said, the Bite Down Crime comes around. We are looking a little bit more aggressive rather than not, just considering the aggressive 2s we picked up and just our curve, right? We have some top-end cards, but we're not just like, okay, we're going to ramp to this card and that's how we're going to win our games generally. I think we're going to look to push damage in most of our games. All right, yep, that's a nice one here. So now with 2 Bloomkins, I kind of want 2 things. I want to stay as green as possible, and I want to pick up some Surveil lands if I can, or just even one of them. Just getting, you know, a little bit more value. A green-white Surveil land would be great, because then I can go get that to fix my mana. Fanatical Strength, also a good card here, but definitely just taking Bloomkin. Wow, okay. So nothing. It looks like people moved into green this pack, and all the blue and red cards came back. I'm just gonna take this Satchel, just in case, like something. I don't think we're gonna move out of white at this point. I think it's very, very unlikely, but this is the card I can see myself playing the most out of that pack. All right, now there's an Aftermath Analyst. There's a Creeper. The Creeper is good for the Tipster, like I mentioned. So yeah, let's just take that. Analyst is a bit better in the kind of decks that are going really big. And you know, turn 4, you like bring back 3 lands. You've surveilled some stuff into the graveyard with like some Mavericks, and that's kind of a nice pickup. We might play that. With some Mavericks, and you play the Analyst, you mill 3, you bring back 3 lands, you untap on turn 4, or after turn 4, you have 7 mana in play. Ooh, look at that. This deck's not going to be doing that as much. It's definitely going to be beating down with Tristani, though. So pretty lucky open from us. If this wasn't here, I'd be pretty happy to take probably another Glintweaver. Like I was saying, as much as we are, I think, going to be attacking and aggressive, we also have ways to get mana sources into play, right? Additional mana sources. So a 7-drop, number 2 would not be the worst thing here. And that's actually like kind of one of the things I really like about green-white. It's very flexible. It's very dynamic, both in the draft and in the games. Like, you can kind of, in the draft, push one way. You can be more aggressive or a little more slower, rampy. And then in the games, you're, you know, essentially just playing a mid-range deck. So you can very much choose what you want to do based on what the opponent is doing. If they're aggressive, you can be the control deck and vice versa. And yeah, just, you know, gonna keep the Bloomkin train going. Gonna take the third one here. And we're gonna be like, I would say almost mono green at this point. We're definitely playing Tolsimir. We're definitely playing the Binding. And a few of these white cards, and probably this Neighborhood Guardian too. But yeah, we're going to be like 12-5 if I can help it on the mana base. Now, Tolsimir being double white, that's kind of like a little kink in that a little bit, because you do want to have 6-7 white sources in your mana base if you can. But we've got ways to get mana, right? We've got the Gardener, and we pick up a white-green duel. That would be ideal. So yeah, I'll just slam this Neighborhood Guardian. All right, so there's a Maverick here. We're not doing too much with the graveyard. Just offhand. Like, not a ton of evidence card. We've got this Monitor, which we're probably not playing. We've got this Bite Down. There's not really anything else I would want. Push-pull. It's fine, but I think Maverick's just better in this kind of deck. Could end up, like, splashing a Galvanize, but I don't like that so much. I'd just rather take the good on-color card. Like, if we can end up not playing Market Watch Phantom, if we can just play more green cards, that's something I'm interested in. Analyze the Pollen's a great one. We've got both Tolsimir and Tristani. Like, the power of this card is very much a function of what you're going to go get with it, right? Because, like, it's never going to be terrible. It just fixes your mana a little bit. But when you've got great cards like Tristani and Tolsimir, obviously goes up a little bit. So, happy to take Analyze. All right, there's another Dog Walker here. But you know what? I'm actually just going to take this Fanatical Strength. Like, again, another green card to the pile. Something I really want with these Bloomkins. White is also going to be pretty difficult with our mana base. We've already got Tolsimir as white. So I'm just going to lean towards the card that respects our mana base a little bit more. Or at very least, the mana base that we would like to be building to. And yeah, just some stuff. Yeah, same, just some stuff. Not too exciting here. So yeah, this ended pretty good. I think that if I could be picky about this, maybe one more interaction spell would be nice, but like, I'm not too worried about that. Like, a lot of the time, we're going to be the one that the opponent has to answer. We're just, like, playing so many premium threats. All right, just look at what we have. We have these Bloomkins, we've got Guardian, we've got Tristani. Like, I think we're going to be presenting the questions here that the opponent's going to have to answer. So, yeah, certainly, that's a nice wheel, too. Certainly, there's going to be some games the opponent plays something that's like, okay, I would like to answer that. But I do think most of our games are going to be about the opponent trying to answer us, not vice versa. All right, so, yeah, ended up with a sick one here. And again, we're going to see how many white cards we cannot play. Okay, so I'm not going to play that they went this way. That's not something I'm very interested in. Our white cards are these. And I can definitely cut the Phantom because we just picked up a bunch of good twos. Don't need that one. Definitely going to play Binding. Definitely going to play Insight Source. Like, I think at this point, most of our white cards are not ones I want to cut. The Call Surprise Witness is definitely the one that I could see cutting here. So I'm going to put that on the chopping block, even though it would be good in our deck. I think, you know, we don't absolutely need it. I think I'm going to cut Rebel Belt Maverick over it, though, because even though I like Rebel Belt Maverick, it does get worse if you don't care about things going to your graveyard. We've got Analyze the Pollen now, right? That is one more Collect Evidence card, but we're not full of Collect Evidence cards where I really care about the surveilling. And I was talking about the mana base with this Dog Walker, the Dog Walker that we could have taken. But I don't think I'm going to cut it. Like, the thing about Dog Walker is, even if you flip it on turn 5, it's still pretty good. It's not something you need to flip immediately. I think it's something like this, and that does leave us with 3 double white cards, functionally double white cards, although 2 of them, Dog Walker and Fussbother, are a little bit more flexible. Like, if our mana base looks like this, or our land base, I should say, where we're 12-5, and then we've got Analyze plus the, where'd it go? The Gardener, somewhere right here. That gives us 7 sources of white. And so I think that's still probably good enough for these double white cards. Like, 7 sources of white means we're like, I don't know, and this is off the top of my head, but I think it's like 70% to cast Tolsimir on curve. I think that's just good enough. Maybe if somebody wants to run the hypergeometric and post it in the comments, I'm all for that. But yeah, I think this is going to be the deck, so we'll see you in game. All right, yep, this looks pretty good. We're just going to go with the white source here, play our Tipster, play our Dog Walker, maybe play our Sharp Eye Rookie. Like, if we draw something that triggers the Rookie, I'll play that early, but just making sure I get a counter on my Tipster is something I would like to do here. Ooh, okay. There we go. Yep. Drawing Crocodile, I think, means I'm just going to play Crocodile here. So that we have the option of flipping it next turn. It's not unlikely we're going to flip the Dog Walker next turn because we can't do it right now. And even if we do draw the white source, we're going to just slam the Tolsimir. All right, they went this way. They're going big. And a white source. All right. And, yep, there we go. Chunk. Come on down. Come in. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean. Obviously, the opponent hasn't been doing too much here, but now they're just like, okay, I have to answer this. I have to answer this. If they have a great card in their hand that I would, presumably maybe like a removal spell for, it doesn't really matter that much because they're probably not going to be able to cast that. They have to answer our stuff. And Killer Among Us is good. It stabilizes them here, but not perfectly. And Tristani means that they just have no good blocks now. So I could just play this and leave up the double strike here, or I could go rookie and trigger it. I think we've got enough value at this point. I don't really need to trigger this rookie, so I'm just going to play this and threaten a good combat here, or a good block from them. Or sorry, a bad block, I should say. Good block for me. Like, I would have gone for the rookie play if we were short on ways to spend our mana, but that certainly is not true. So, let's double strike here. Yep. And, if they do end up having a field wipe, a deadly cover-up or something, the rookie can draw some cards as the game goes on. All right, and the game will not go on. So, I mean, I can't blame the opponent. It was kind of a sick curve. All right, yeah, another good opening hand. This is kind of funny. Like, this might be a play a Bloomkin on 2-hand. We'll see what our next draw is. That might change our mind here, but I think because I have the inside source, I'm leaning away from it because it's not like I can go like, right, it's a 2-2, it's a 3-3, it's a 4-4. It's going to be like, it's a 2-2, it's a 2-2, it's a 3-3, and that's just not quite as good. All right, and although now that I've just drawn another land, like instead of a 2-drop or something that I could have cast in lieu of Bloomkin, I do think I'm just going to play it out. All right, tapped Public Thoroughfare. Love to see that. Okay, so now we actually can do what I was mentioning here and just play this this face down first. Yeah, it's kind of similar, kind of adds the same amount of power and toughness to the board, but I think if I can get away with not playing the planes and just keep drawing green spells, then I'll definitely do that. And it's not like I'm giving up too much if I end up not doing that. We just play the inside source, no harm, no foul. All right, they play Bloomkin, or they kill the Bloomkin here. And draw another white source. All right, so looks like this this Crocodile is gonna get in a clean hit probably, which is something I would like to do when I've got all lands in hand. Steam Core Scholar. Yep, it's a good one. All right, they pitch some lands. They play a land. We draw a land. Okay, so getting it in. Nice. No blocks. I'll have to see that. I'm a little bit surprised that they just said no blocks. Maybe they have a fight spell or a bite spell in hand that they want to keep their creature alive, but yeah, I'm just a little surprised they didn't want to trade 2-2 for 2-2. Like, I'm clearly the beatdown, I would say, here, so I don't know. Maybe they know better than I do. Maybe some of the cards in hand make sense that they don't want to trade off there. Ooh, rookie. Okay, so I can get in with the 2-2, and again, they might not block. I could crack Clue first. Let's just pump the detective and play the rookie this turn. So I think they are pretty incentivized to block. All right, they just take it. I do not mind that. Okay. it's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards, and hopefully we don't give them the time to crack all these clues. Yeah, even more clues. Alright, they get in. We draw another land, so let's crack here. Ooh, spider. That's a good one. So we'll just go up here. Yep, get in. I think if I didn't draw the spider this turn, I would have just gone with the rookie too, but not really be able to trigger the rookie. I think I like keeping the spider here. Or keeping the rookie home, I should say. All right, face down. Ooh, that's a good one too. Okay, so we can do that second here. It does play on like a reasonable doubt to play Tristani first, but I think I'm just gonna go for the high upside play. Nice. All right. We want to make this inside source a meaningful threat, so I think I'm just gonna go 3 on the source. Yep, we'll just get in. I'll put the Scholar first. If this is like a Museum Night Watch or something, I would rather the Scholar dies. Eliminate. All right, yeah. Sure. Still get to kill the Scholar. They do have Niv Mizzet mana in play, although Niv Mizzet wouldn't be backbreaking or anything on this board. Yeah. Buried in the garden. Okay, that probably takes care of the rookie, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. And dramatic accusation. All right, that's fine. Because we have a Tristani in hand. All right. Ooh, and a Bloomkin here too. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I could play Tristani, play Bloomkin, and crack the clue. I could also just play face up Bloomkin. I think we can afford to just Bloomkin next turn, or flip the Bloomkin next turn, play face down this turn. Fanatical Strength. All right, that's pretty good too. Mm-hmm. All right, that's a good sign. So it's good when the opponent starts their turn by cracking a clue. 10th Street Gossip. All right, that's not going to stop us. All right, looks like we have this, because this thing's just going to be a gigantic trampling double striker. All right, yeah. Just need to make sure. Oh, we did land anyways. All right, so just make sure. I need to make sure I keep a white mana up here. Jump. And play this. Get in. I guess they could have the Loxodon Gatekeeper, right? The rare that blinks things or exiles things through your opponents. Okay, so this is their block. Okay, so to play around that, we're just going to do this first. I do want to force the action if they do have that. All right, looks like they don't, and they'll be good enough. All right, sweet. Yep. All right, nice one. Yep. I love having a great deck because your opening hands are always great. Although, I'm a little bit jealous of the Novice Inspector over there. Okay, so I think I'm going to hold this Analyze because we've got Gardener to go get the white source. It's only really going to punish us if we don't draw a 5th land before we get to turn 5. And, yeah, I think that's unlikely enough that I'm confident just holding the pollen so we can go get our Tristani if the Tolsimir doesn't get the job done. Consultant. All right. All right, so we did draw the land, and now that we drew the land, I'm actually kind of tempted to play out Nervous Gardener here, because I think a way that we do fall behind / lose this game is just taking a little bit too much damage. So if we play this, we don't take any damage, because they can't attack with the Inspector, and this will just bounce, unless they have a trick. But if they want to cast a trick here, that's fine. So well, that's been a question I've got quite a bit. It's just like, when should you play your 2-drop out on 2? And I would actually just say more often than not. Like, if you're questioning it, like, oh, it kind of feels like I should, kind of feels like I shouldn't. Spending mana each turn is still a good thing to do, despite the potential value that you could be getting later off these kind of cards. It's always a contextual thing, right? It's never like a never always sort of thing, but again, the context here of us having Tolsimir in hand does make me want to just run it out. Okay, so now we just play Inside Source, stabilizes further. It's funny. If I knew the turn was Maverick tap land, I might have held the Gardener, but You know, we don't know that the opponent's going to have kind of a medium turn 3. They could have played an inside source of their own, and then we'd been in a lot of trouble. Tipster. All right, Tipster's a nice one. So let's just play the Tipster. And I think what I might do here is if they just crack a clue, attack with Elephant, I might just like block with 2/2, use my mana on this turn to eat it with the Fanatical Strength. If they want to use a trick back, it's totally fine. That means that the Tolsimir gets in a little bit more freely. You could use that argument and say that Tolsimir uses the trick pretty well too. But especially with drawing another good expensive creature and Analyze, I kind of don't mind if the Tolsimir plan goes south, you know? Huh, okay, this is interesting. So they're doing this to just get this in the grave and trigger this, I guess is what this says. So we're just going to kind of make the obvious blocks, like so. Okay, let's go for the strength. Okay, yeah, the strength back. Yeah, like I said, is fine. Not too concerned about that. With this Maverick in the grave, it does mean that the Eavesdropper can attack me back for 5 vigilantly, but that's fine. Oh, they put it on there. Okay, that's better for me then. Yeah, we'll just play Tolsimir. And Master. Crack a clue. It's interesting to figure out what to do if they do attack with Eavesdropper, and I think it's probably just a block. Like, if I lose the Voya, I could even, like, double block, triple block somewhere. If I lose the Voya, that's fine. Then the Creeper comes in as a big thing. All right, that's fine, too. Okay, so I think we're going to go block like this and block like this. Clear the board, leave us with a 1/1, leave them with a 1/3. Yeah, seems fine enough. All right, and there's a Bloomkin. That's a nice one. So I think we're just going to play this Creeper face up and pass. Now, our Analyze goes against Tristani if we'd like to, but we can just wait on that. All right, they're kind of running out of action a little bit here, it seems like. I think I do leave back this turn. I'm at 14, they're at 19. I want to give us a turn where we can flip this Bloomkin safely without taking too much damage. If they do happen to draw a Makeshift Binding or something for our Creeper. All right, they're just chilling. Speaking of Makeshift Binding, so let's flip this up to get a land. Sweet. And now do I use the Analyze to go get something good? I think so. Yeah, I think it's just a fine enough spot to go get Tristani and start ending the game. 5, 6, 7, 8. Didn't go for a flip. Wonder what that means. Play Vigilante. All right, Forest is not a draw I mind, so we'll just play as Tristani. Yeah, we'll just send them in one at a time here. They don't really have good attacks or good blocks. All right, let me just take it. I don't think I want to deal them 5, like just paying 3 to deal them 5, so we'll just do this, play the Eavesdropper. It does mean that this turn they have like an okay attack, especially if they draw a removal spell or a trick, but I'm a 14. It's not the biggest deal if they do have a good turn here. Ooh, a Kaya. All right, that's a nice one. So they're probably just going to kill the Tristani here. Then we get to Makeshift Binding something and go to town. I could see them making a Spirit and just hoping that's good enough. But yeah, they just take the safe play and they take the turn to flip their Disguise creature. What was it? A Branch of Vitu-Ghazi. Okay, that makes sense why they didn't flip it. Okay, so now we can just send. If we just Makeshift Binding, yeah, we just Makeshift Binding this Vigilante and crack our clue to give the Lockstone on Vigilance. I should have done that first, technically. Get it at them. If they block there, they're going to take 9, 10. I can put them to 1. I don't think that's better than just playing the Tipster, because Put into one doesn't, like, the one way we lose now is if they have, like, a no witnesses or something. And so I'd rather just save this for post-wrath if they happen to have that. Alright, yep. And it looks like we're good. Oh, as long as they don't attack Alakaya. There we go. Nice. Alright, GG's, opponents. Alright, 3-0. Kind of a nice start to a good draft deck. We've had analyzed the Paladin opening hand quite a bit. Alright, this is a pretty good keep. Dogwalker, Tipster into Dogwalker. Hopefully draw the second white source naturally after we go get the first one with Analyze. Although I suppose I said Tipster into Dogwalker, but it's more likely I go Tipster into turn 3 Eavesdropper. Alright, and then go Analyze. They have a shock, unfortunately. Although, if they want to shock my Tipster on 3. If they don't have another 2-drop, then that's not that bad of a turn for me. Red Herring. Alright. Yep. Worst case scenario here is they just, like, go shock Tipster, get in with another Herring. Alright. Not doing that, thankfully. Yep. Surprise! Alright, they don't even have a land. Okay, so now we go... I think just this Dogwalker, since we're not going to be flipping in unless we draw the second white source. And we could just play the Creeper on 5 as a big blocker. And I do want to trade, although they are highlighting their hand. Maybe they have a Felonious Rage. Nope. Alright, they hit the third land. We got a game. Gardener's a good one, too. So I could just play the Eavesdropper. Although Eavesdropper doesn't line up very well if it's a Dogwalker or a Museum Nightwatch. And I do want to draw not only a 5th land, but a white source here for the Fuss Bother and our other double white card. So I'm gonna go with this. This lines up a lot better if it's one of those white disguised creatures. Yep, I have to block. If they want to take their turn to trade, nope. Maybe not. They'll say sure. Here with the white. I got check. That's totally fine with me. Yep. A Marker Watch Phantom. Alright, so now what? We could just play the Creeper out. Although if they just play a 2-power creature, they can attack past that. We could go Tipster into Creeper face down. I think I'm actually just going to play the Creeper here, because, like, the Fuss Bother, like, if we're just going to cast Bother this turn and stabilize, and currently they don't have a great clock, so this can just pressure them, race them, not give them a bunch of time to draw into a bunch of tricks and stuff. So they're on jobs, maybe double white if they're missing that. So I think just, like, even though it doesn't block that well here, it does pressure them pretty well. All right, so with this being their turn, I think we're just going to not attack with the Creeper, though. Just play Bother. Bottom, and yeah, Bloom can stay on top. We're cool with that. Like, if they cast a removal spell on this Creeper, still not that bad. I get to make still pretty profitable blocks. Yep, and if they attack with this Phantom, I will just double block it. Yep. I guess their own Fuss there would be pretty bad for me. Alright, so we've got access to 7 mana this turn. So we can play the Tipster, play the Eavesdropper. We can just, like, play everything out with the Bloomkin being face up. I think I'm just gonna attack with the Creeper, play Bloomkin face up, and just, dump my hand here. Oh, wait, sorry, what am I saying? I only have 7 mana in play, so I can't do it all. Okay, so we're just gonna go Bloomkin plus Eavesdropper here. That sets up for pretty good next turn. Don't get, don't want to get too caught up in doing the thing with the Tipster. It's not like we really need that too much here. Alright, cool. And yeah, land was actually good, because now this puts them in a position where they need to block something, or else they die. And yeah, I guess we can crack our clue first. Oh, Bite Down's also very good. Okay, so yeah, play that, and we do we want to bite down something? If we bite down something, it gives them a much worse block. So yeah, I think I'm in for that. Why not? Let's kill this Consultant. I guess it's not a much worse block, but it's enough worse that puts them in a bad spot. Double block there makes sense to me. Player tipster. Yeah, now they have to contend with two things that are going to kill them. Two lethal threats. Yep, get it in. It's a forced attack. Can't block anyways. Face down. Alright, so I mean, there's not too much they could really do here. They could have like a lightning helix in hand or just like a removal spell. I think I'm supposed to just get in with these two because this is a dog walker and they draw like if this is a on the job and they draw like another trick or something. +2/+2. That would mean I take, lethal damage. So I'll just force them into something here. Like, there's the thought of attacking with everything because if they have nothing and they're not going to draw anything, then this gets in for free. They, like, have to take the damage. Yeah, it is Dockwalker. But we're just, like, far enough ahead. I don't need to eke out a point of damage. I'd just rather play towards not getting blown out. Yeah, another face down. Yeah, could be another Dogwalker. Ah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. All right, so now we can make the tipster a lethal threat. Set to block everything. Gain a bunch of life. All right, now we're pretty safe. All right, yeah, that was it. Nice. All right, well, yeah, this extra summon, we're ranking up as we go, too, which is nice. Even though ranks don't matter and it's all made up. But, you know, seeing number goes up make brain feel good. All right, going in 4-0 here. Yeah, pretty sick hand. We actually haven't drawn the Neighborhood Guardian yet, so nice to see it in the opener. Yep, start with Maverick. All right, play the Guardian. Send. Tristani. I'll highlight this one as we wait. I actually don't know if I highlighted it during the earlier games. I think I did, but just in case. And even if I did, you can read it now. You read it while the opponent thinks. All right. Yep, so still just good attacks here. Like, the opponent really can't afford to make any blocks, so we just attack. I could see them chumping with the Maverick, potentially, but might be a little bit early for that. Yep, they do. Put Luxodon. Alright, a mountain. Could mean many things. I'll put a counter, and then, And then what? Are they going to go, like, hard-hitting questions shock or something? Hard-hitting questions galvanize? No? Alright, so what does that mean? Well, I've got Death Touch Double Strike, so not too much can go wrong here. And I'm going to give up a point of attacking with Eavesdropper to, of course, keep that up. I mean, I could not, and then just, like, play Tipster, grow something, grow this too. But yeah, I think the safest thing to do is just attack here. With, although, I might not want to attack with the Guardian, because if they just block here, I'm forced to do something. Although, what, the Death Touch only 2, so I will, because if they block on the Guardian, I'll just Death Touch it, I think. And then let them do something. Okay. What could this be? How are they planning to... Okay, it's just like a shocker or something, maybe? Sure, okay, so we... crack the clue. Again, I just wanted to let damage resolve. Like, it's fine if we miss at a point or two here. Alright, play this. Okay, maybe they wanted to go for a trick and then realized it wouldn't work after they, like, read the card again. Like, they could have had +3/+3 hoping to ambush it, but then we're like, oh, wait, Death Touch and Double Strike? Alright, I think that might have been what happened. Or the opponent just had nothing. Who knows? Alright, 5-0. And, yeah, another pretty nice opener. Depends what the opponent's playing, like what color pair they're playing, but this is probably a hand I just play out the Inspector on too to give us time to flip all these. especially because we're on the draw. I mean, if they go island, swamp, maybe I wouldn't. But against plains, I'm definitely just going to play out this inspector. All right, so I'll just play a gardener here. Suppose I didn't have to play a plains. I could have just... Yeah, I guess that was a little mistake. The mistake is that I didn't play it on turn 4, because I do want to play it on turn 4 in case I draw Tolsimir on 5. But I don't think there's really a reason for me not to just play Forest until turn 4. Granite Witness, sure. Yep, get it for 3. Play a Tom-Tom. Inside Source in the Grave. I wonder what that's about. Well, I'm glad I drew a Makeshift Binding, because that makes me think they maybe have a great 5 or 6 mana card. Okay, so let's just get in with the face down. If they want to block on the Automaton, that's fine. Then we're just going to play the Bloomkin. Yep. Get another green. Play this face down. Here we go. No blocks. Homicide Investigator. All right, that's a solid one. Extract. Yeah. All right. Well, look, paying off, right? Another reason that you sometimes want to play out your 2-on-2 when they're playing black, if it's something like Inspector that don't mind sacrificing to extract here. Okay, so we could just get in and bash them for 5. I think I like that because then we just have more mana to work with next turn. So play land, attack. They're going to attack us back for 5, but I think that's okay considering that we've got a binding in hand to kind of gain back some tempo. Yep. Next turn we can go Eavesdropper plus binding. Yeah, it does look like they're looking for that 5th land, I would assume. That's why they put the Inside Source in the grave. So we'll see what that's about. That kind of makes me not want to just reach out and kill this Inspector with the binding. All right, they're binding my Bloomkin. That's fine. Like, they could have a Vein Ripper in hand, potentially. Ooh, nice. Okay, so let me just go Loxodon, face down Bloomkin. Although, now with the Bloomkin gone, we actually aren't racing them back very well. So, even if there is some Sicko in their hand, I think I'm actually a little bit priced into just casting this here. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if it's a 5-drop. I can't think of too many 5s in white and black. They're just, like, awesome. They want to... Yeah, it's if I had to guess here, it's a Vein Ripper, but, we'll see. All right, so that's probably a Dog Walker. Could be a Granite Witness, too, I suppose. So, let's go to combat, see if they block it down. They do not. All right, so yeah, we'll get in. All right, it is a Granite Witness. That's fine. Yeah. All right. 6 lands. Huh. They're attacking with the Investigator too. Okay, well, since we're facing a flyer, I am going to chump a little bit early here. One of the things you want to kind of figure out sometimes is like when you're thinking, should I chump? Is will I have the opportunity to chump later? And when they have a flyer in play, you generally want to chump a little bit earlier rather than later. All right, Tipster. Creeper was a phenomenal draw because now we can just kill this Granite Witness. So let's play land. Play this face down. Could also kill the binding. That's actually pretty interesting too. But I'll just get in. Okay, I will let this happen. Yeah, that's totally fine. So now we can get the binding back. Or the Bloomkin from the binding. Okay. Maybe they were looking for a splash color. That's probably what they were looking for. All right, so let's see. Still nothing, eh? All right, well, flip it up. Get back this. Glitterweaver is a good one too. All right, so let's just flip our Bloomkin here. Doing this now so we can play the land from our hand. All right, send. Go get a green source. Green, black, green, white. Maybe it's like a buried in the garden. They would have cast buried in the garden, though. Maybe it's a Tolsimir? Yeah, like whatever the splash thing they have, I think they just don't have it in hand, potentially. All right, so they're going to go to 3 here. We're not going to play out anything because we don't have a reason to. We have 3 lethal threats in play. Oh, it might have been good to play out Tipster, actually, so that we do kill them through Killer Among Us. Oh, sorry, no, that actually doesn't matter. Never mind, because I Glintweaver in hand anyways. But just something to consider. Like, whenever you're in these spots of like, okay, should I play around the Wrath, the Field Wipe, but Izoni, okay. Well, that's actually another one. You know, I should have just thought of that instantly when I saw them have the Forest. And so I think that was a poor perception on my part here. Like, that Forest should have tipped me off to what the splash card was. All right, it doesn't matter because we drew Bite Down. Very lucky, of course. Yes. I'm sure some of you at home were screaming, Izoni! All right, cool. Nice. Not that it would have been a huge problem. I think we still would have been fine, but, you know, being able to lock up lethal on the next turn for sure, I think is good enough. All right, 6-0, heading to the finals. Might get the clean 7-0. And yeah, I'll keep this. It doesn't have some of our more exciting cards in hand, but it's definitely good enough. Play Plains, play a Haunch. All right, so once again... Oh, I was gonna say, once again, because I don't have another 2, I was going to play at the Inspector, but our deck was kind to us. Let us draw a Tipster. Okay, I expect to see... We're in the finals against a opponent who's 2 ranks lower than us. I expect to see an Ezreal in this game, if I were to guess. All right, so we're just going to go Gardener. Go get our land with the Tipster. Thankfully, we have Creeper for if this case goes off sometime soon. Ooh, that is a good one. Although, we're going to be able to empty our hand fine enough and just play the Tipster to prevent some damage. They can equip the Haunch, but that's kind of okay. I could maybe get in a cheeky attack here with the Gardener. I don't think they block, but the upside's also not huge because we're playing a deck that's just gonna win the long game most likely. Like kind of like I said in a previous game, eking out a point isn't gonna be the difference between winning and losing here. I don't believe so. Let's just play this Inspector and I think the Dog Walker before I play the Creeper because I don't see myself playing Creeper or flipping Creeper next turn. I more see myself like flipping Dog Walker, playing another disguised creature. All right, pass turn. Especially because if we do flip Creeper, that means we're not casting cards from our hand, which means they're a little bit more likely to investigate with this. All right, there's the Quip. I have a Sarah Angel now. It's fine. And nothing. Ooh, okay. So if we do that, we can play that and the Creeper, or that and flip the Dog Walker. I think it's probably better to play this and play the Creeper. Although, they do have 2 mana up, so we could play around Reasonable Doubt if we think that's a good thing to do. Like, how important is it that this Creeper resolves? I would say reasonably important. Like, I would like to blow up a Flyer, this Haunch, if they go shields down. But at the same time, I don't think it's that likely I actually do that next turn. So I do actually think I'm just going to play the Crocodile to play around a counterspell here. All right, then we pass. This Tipster's getting kind of large. All right, Crack Clue. I love how this card punishes you for being on the draw even more so than being on the draw already punishes you. Just a double whammy. Night Watch. All right, cool. So that's another one we haven't drawn too often here. Okay, so we can Bloomkin and basically nothing else. We can't keep up double white and Bloomkin here. I think what we do is just get in with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if they block any of these, I'm fine with flipping. And if they... And then I'll just play the creeper out. Yeah, as much as I was saying I would like to flip the creeper, I think at this point it's kind of fine not to. We're pressuring them back really well. Okay, they did. Block the Bloomkin. Mm-hmm. Block. And the next turn we get to just like bring back the Bloomkin with the Witness, which will make a very big Bloomkin. All right, I think I'm going to take it one more turn. And a Watchdog. Okay. Oh, and Dulcimere. All right, well, that was a very good draw. No matter how much way you slice it, it was a great draw. So let's just go Surprise Witness. Get back Bloomkin. Play Dulcimere. Pass. Or I guess Dulcimere, I can get with this tipster too. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want to attack first this time, by the way. I didn't want to be priced into blocking or flipping my Crocodile if they block with a 2/2. Although maybe it's just unlikely enough that they block with this Angel. You know what? Actually, I take it back. I probably should attack with the Elf because I don't think they block with the 4/4 and force me to flip this. And I think that if they did block with this, I don't mind just trading these off and then still doing what I did. All right, there's a land. Are we gonna see the Ezram? I would be not very surprised if Ezram comes down this turn. It wouldn't quite be enough, I don't think, for them. Oh, Intrude on the Mine. All right, not exactly. Let's see what their piles are. All right, let's see the cards. Actually, we can do that. So if I choose this pile, they get a smaller flyer. Yeah, I will do that. Okay. This seems not fantastic for them. In fact, it seems quite bad for them if I were to say. I guess they just figure they're dead anyway, so just make an attack, sure, why not, right? And yep, we go. All right, they just have it. Never mind. All right, well, clean 7-0. Love to see it. And yeah, like I said, rank up video indeed. All right, final look at this deck here. Not too much to say other than this deck was just fantastic. Like, there really were no filler cards. We were cutting good cards, and we have good cards in our sideboard that we didn't play. Green continues to be very open from my experience, and, you know, this draft definitely on the more extreme end of things, where we just got, like, super late Bloomkins and stuff. I guess one thing to highlight was just how we drafted, making sure these Bloomkins were consistently quite large, and, yeah, worked out. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. Of course, hit that like and subscribe and all that stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.